Welcome back, everyone. This is Jeff. We've got our latest project, 2012 Ferrari 458. It's just in for a oil change and cabin air filter change. So we've got it lifted up here. We're going to go ahead and take the under tray off to get it ready to drain the oil. So we're going to go ahead and do that then. We've got the under tray removed right now. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to remove these plugs here. This one, and this one here. All right, we're going to remove those three and then drain the oil. And then once the oil is drained, we'll retorque those. I believe those are 60 Newton meters on the torque on those. Let me go ahead and check that out. All right, so yeah, 60 Newton meters here on these plugs here. So when you're going back in, those are 60. Let's see what else we need. And then the cap here is 25 Newton meters. So when you go in the back with the cap, that is 25 right here. Engine oil filter cap, 25 Newton meters. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take those out and drain the oil. We've got our plugs removed, and both these plugs are magnetic plugs, by the way. They should be. If they're not, you need to install magnetic plugs in these two ports here, okay? So those should be magnetic plugs on both of those. So we've got them over here. They're clean. I don't see any metallic fuzz or anything on there. You may have a little bit. I mean, as long as it's not crazy, you should be good. If you see a lot of fuzz, if you've got some issues possibly, I would get it checked out. We've got new crush washers, and like I said this before, there is a difference on these. There's one side that's kind of rounded, and the other side's flat. The flat portion will go up towards the motor, the block. So the flat portion will be up. It's hard to tell, but there is little chamfers on those. Like I said, here's the old ones here. We're going to not reuse those. You can reuse these actually if you sand them down and re-anneal them. They can be reused. I have seen them being reused, but we're going to put new ones on there. These are clean. We're going to install these in, like I said, 60 Newton meters, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the other plug. All right, so we've torqued these here, 60 Newton meters or 44 foot-pounds. So these are torqued, new crush washer. So we're going to go ahead and drain this right now. This is going to be the same torque, 60 Newton meters, 44 foot-pounds. We're going to go ahead and drain this, all right? So we've got this one draining here. Let it sit here for a few more minutes. Like I said, this is 60 Newton meters also, or 44 foot-pounds, and that is a 22 millimeter nut on here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put that on here in a few minutes, and then we're going to lower the car and fill it up. All right, so we've got this back up, torqued. So like I said, we're going to go ahead. This is 22 millimeter, 60 Newton meters, 44 foot-pounds. So we got this torqued. We're going to go ahead and lower the car now, and then remove the oil filter, and then do that, and then put oil back in it. So we're going to do that now. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take the filter off. The filter's down there. An 1.25 inch socket will actually fit that. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there and remove that at this time. So you can put both hands on that. All right, so we've got the filter removed here. You just want to kind of give it a snug. Sometimes they're kind of well, that came right off. So what you want to do here is just want to check just to make sure there's nothing in the pleats. Just kind of spread them apart here and just kind of look, just make sure there's no metal particles or anything in there, glitter or whatever. This looks pretty clean. I don't see anything at all. So like I said, but just check that, and then we're going to go ahead and put our new filter in, put a new O-ring here and one on the cap, and then make sure that this piece is stuck in your cap. If it isn't, you need a new cap. This looks like it's all intact. So we're going to go ahead and change this out. All right, so we've changed our O-ring here. Make sure it's in the proper groove. The new filter had an O-ring there already. And then you make sure you put some oil on it all the way around. And then it should be ready to install. It stays in the cap, so that's a good sign. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall this back in the car and then torque this to 25 Newton meters. All right, I'll have to find out what the foot-pounds or inch-pounds are, but it's 25 Newton meters. All right. All right, so this is, like I said, 25 Newton meters or 18 foot-pounds, all right? So we're going to go ahead and torque this to 18 foot-pounds. There it is, 18, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and install Pennzoil 5W40. It says it holds just under 12 quarts or liters, I think. Let's see here. Okay, I'm sorry. It holds 10.57 quarts, as you can see there. So we're probably putting in about 8, and then check our level, start the car, and then add as required. Because it probably won't take that much because when you drain it, you can't get all of it back out. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put in about 8 quarts. We'll start the car, let it heat up, get to normal operating temperature, and then you want to check your quantity while it's running. All right? All right, so we've got 8 quarts of oil in here. I just got the cap sitting on there. We're going to have to start it, and then we'll let it run, get it warmed up to normal operating temperature. And then first thing we're going to do is that we're going to check our oil filter back there, make sure we don't have any leaks, and then peek underneath the car, make sure we don't have any leaks from the plugs underneath. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to go ahead and let it run, get it up to operating temperature. It should rise, and then we have these 2 points here. We got the low limit, the upper limit. We should have the oil while it's running somewhere in between those 2 points. So and you just like rest it on there. You don't tighten it, just have it rested on there. So we're going to go ahead and start it. All right, so we're leak check the filter here. I don't see any leaks. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and let it run, get it to normal operating temperature, and then we'll check our quantity here. I did check underneath here just to make sure our plugs aren't leaking before I put the pan on. So that all looks good. So we're gonna let, like I said, let it sit here idle for a few minutes and then check the quantity. All right, so we've got about 10 quarts in here. It's been running for a while. We're gonna go ahead and check it. All right, let it fall down on there, pull it out. And then it's currently right here, so we're good. If you want to know, it takes about 2 quarts to fill it from this hole to this hole. A little over 2 quarts it takes. So if you're to fill your oil and it's right here, just give it another quart and you'll be about right in here, all right? So this is good for now. It's been running. I'll have the customer recheck it once he gets home, make sure it stays there. But we're good for that. We're going to go ahead and put this back in, and then we're going to go ahead and put the under tray back. We've got the engine compartment closed up. We're satisfied with the oil quantity there. So we've changed out the cabin air filter. We've already got that swapped out. We're going to go ahead and close this, and then we're going to go ahead and raise it and put the under tray back on, recheck our fittings below, make sure there's no leaks down there, and then, like I said, put our tray on. So we've got our plugs back in, like I said earlier. Just checked them. Everything's dry. And we're going to go ahead and put this under tray back on and complete this job. All right? So we've got the under tray reinstalled. Everything's back together now. So I'm going to go ahead and lower the car, and then this should complete this oil change and cabin air filter change on this 2012 Ferrari 458.